everybody, my name is Megan. Welcome to my channel. This week I'm talking about The Lightning Thief, so I'm just going to jump right in because it was the worst film adaptation that I've ever seen, and I've got a lot to say about it. So we're going to skip over the normal hubbub that I talk about, and we're just going to get started because I'm so mad about this movie. Y'all, okay, so I read this book, obviously, in like middle school or whenever it came out, and I remember vaguely seeing the movie and not like it was years after I read the book, so I didn't really realize how bad it was, but I knew it was bad in that moment. So of course I read the book and I watched the movie right after, and I was so bad. So here are all my notes. I literally have 2 pages of them, so I'm going to talk fast and I might skip some, but here we go. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. So the movie starts out by showing Poseidon and Zeus as humans talking about the stolen lightning bolts, which of course in the book we never see that side. I just felt like it was kind of unnecessary. And then Zeus straight up accuses Percy already. In the book, he didn't really know Percy was alive at that point, and it kind of made the gods' feud worse. It made them butt heads more, because at first Zeus just was mad at Poseidon for stealing. Then he's like, hey, you broke our pact too? You got a kid? Like, this is bogus, and you've been using him to do this. So he just, he didn't know about Percy, but right in the first 5 minutes of the movie, he's like, your son took it. And we're like, what? He already knows? Anyways, so yeah, right away we know, he's Poseidon's kid, which I guess going into the movie, you've probably seen previews and you probably know this, but in the book there's a little more mystery surrounding it, and it takes him a while to figure it out. But I mean, in the movie, the first scene it shows of him is he's literally sitting in the bottom of a pool for 7 minutes. Which wasn't ever in the book, but that kind of just shows that if you ever had doubt, you're like, oh, so he is Poseidon's kid. Okay, first 5 minutes, already got it. And he said he likes being in the water in the movie, which was never even hinted at in the book, which again left it more of a mystery up front. And then it says in the book that Grover limps when he walks. In the movie, they gave him straight up crutches. Before I go on, let me just say one of the things I was most mad about was the adaptation of Grover's character. In the book, he was kind of this dorky, scrawny kid who walked funny, and Percy thought he would have to protect him. But in the movie, he was buff and funny, the cool class clown dude. And so I was really bothered by it. He had a lot of good one-liners, but that's not who he was in the book. So I was really mad about that. Anyways. So in the movie, Mrs. Dodds was a sub, whereas in the book, she had been there for a while. She's like, hello, I'm your sub, Mrs. Dodds. And I'm like, psh, no, you ain't. And I just realized that it's the same guy from Perks of Being a Wallflower in it. So I thought that was cool. So one thing I thought was weird was after school. First of all, he's supposed to be at boarding school, but this kid's going home every day after school. So I guess he's not at boarding school. And then he went home to a building that looked like an apartment building. And he said, Mom, I'm home. And she's like, up here. But if it was an apartment, wouldn't she be up there? Isn't that where their apartment is? But did they own the whole building? Because I thought they weren't supposed to have a lot of money. It was a 4-story building or something. I don't know. I was just confused. Who walks into an apartment complex, goes, Mom, I'm home, when they're not? I don't know. You would wait till you're in the apartment. I was confused. And then while talking to his mom, he explicitly said, Mom, I think my dyslexia is getting worse. Come on, you gotta spell it out for us. Boring. We already saw the words dance around the page. We can figure it out. We're smart. You don't need to say that. And then another part that really bothered me was that his dad would speak to him in his brain. So before the field trip, his dad warned him in his brain. But in the book, all the campers were mad that all the demigods were mad that their parents weren't communicating with them in any way. And Percy's the same, his dad didn't communicate with him. They are not supposed to interact with their kids at all, so that was stupid. Yeah, throughout the movie, he got multiple, warnings from his dad in his brain, and the first one was before the field trip, before he even knew, he was a demigod. I was pretty mad that they cut the scene of him with Nancy Bobofit in the water fountain, because she was picking on Grover and he defended his friend and he pushed her in the water, but some people were it looked like the water came up and grabbed her. And that was kind of the first hint that he had superpowers, which of course we already know this, we know what we're getting into, but it was the first hint for him kind of, and building that background that he is Poseidon's son. And then, so, y'all, this movie was a mess. So Mrs. Dodds wanted the lightning bolt from Percy, but in the book she just wanted to kill him. But in the movie she says, "Where's the lightning bolt?" And then she just like flies away. But in the movie they killed her. I mean, in the book they killed her. I was so mad at it. I said he was supposed to kill the Fury, and then Grover was actually there when in the book it was just him. And they tell him in that moment, they're like, "That was a Fury," and he's like, "What?" But in the book you don't know that yet, what they're called. They're like, in the book they told him like, "Oh, there was no Mrs. Dodds, what are you talking about?" And they kind of tried to make it off like he was hallucinating or something, and tried getting him to go to a different boarding school because they're like, they found him here, but they just cut all that. They're like, "Oh, that's a Fury, let's go to camp." Like, and on that note, Chiron and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Chiron and Grover discuss the camp right then and there in front of him. And okay, so then he gets the pen sword, which he was supposed to get it before the Fury came and cut off or while the Fury was there. Chiron throws him the sword and he cuts whatever, but he gets it after the Fury flies away, which is not helpful at all. The pen sword, I don't know if I ever finished that thought. And then they went to Percy's house, and Grover took out Gabe Uglianos, his mom's boyfriend, when like that never happened in the book. Like, he beat him with his crutches. I was like, what? Grover. See, that's what I'm talking about, though. Grover was supposed to be this timid, little, scared satyr, whatever, however you pronounce it. Whoop. And so yeah, but already he's beaten someone up. There was no trip to their house in Montauk where they spent some summers, I guess, or something. Their arrival to Camp Half-Blood was way different. The Minotaur was supposed to be basically man-sized, but with like a bull top, but he was way bigger. The Thalia pine tree is not even a part of this movie, which is a real big part later in the series from my memory. So I don't know how they're gonna, like, I know there's a second movie, so I'm intrigued to see how they keep going with no Thalia pine tree. And he was supposed to break the Minotaur's horn off, but it just got lodged in a tree. He had a sword with him, and I just had a lot of questions. And then Grover was there when he first wakes up at camp instead of Annabeth. And then Grover doesn't even have his horns yet, and he's a junior protector, whatever that means. He's supposed to be trying to get his searcher license, not his whatever, trying to get his horns. I don't know what they were talking about. I don't know where Annabeth was, and then Grover was giving the tour, and where is Chiron? So many questions this whole movie. And then I said, please tell me that's not Annabeth with the brown hair, sword fighting in slow motion, and of course it was. And then Brenner was supposed to be a white horse, but in the movie he was a brown horse. Come on, like, editing, just annoying. Chiron shows him his cabin up front and says, "Your father built this for you." What? What about his stint in the Hermes cabin with Luke, where he doesn't know who he is, and then he gets claimed like right away that everyone just knows he's Poseidon's kid? It was a really lame cabin that was like a log cabin right on a lake. That's not even how it's supposed to be. I wanted the whole capture the flag scene where he got declared in his fight with Clarissa in the bathrooms where he uses his powers. Oh, what about the mystery? I was so mad. But I was really intrigued to see how they would do the little thing above his head, declaring him the little trident. I was excited for that. At that moment, I'm like, oh, and they didn't do that. There was no big reveal. And then he was found out why his mom is married to Gabe already. There's no Oracle. Again, I was so excited to see the Oracle. You have no idea, this crusty, dried up lady with the fog coming up. Oh, I was so excited to see that. Nope, of course not. Of course no. And then Chiron says before he could go anywhere or whatever, he's like, first, we're going to trade. And then they jump right into a brutal game of capture the flag, which is not how it happened in the book. That is not trading. He just fed him to the wolves. He's like, we're going to trade. Here you go. Go defend yourself. You'll know how to fight. There you go. But magically, he does know how to fight, so it's fine. But he spent like a whole week training before capture the flag in the book. Luke finally makes an appearance with no scar on his face before capture the flag, and he still hasn't officially met Annabeth yet, and for some reason she's on the other team instead of his team. Percy finds the flag and then has to fight Annabeth, not Clarice. Clarice isn't even in this book. I mean, in this movie. Ooh. And then he does that thing in the water. Oh. What? and he does that thing in the water to get better. And then I said, Annabeth's way too rude and cocky. I don't understand why she's like that in the movie. And then he heard his dad say, go to the water will give you power. I was like, boring. Dad communicating with him again, of course. And then, of course, Percy has to win Capture the Flag, even though that's not how it happens in the book. And is this all still his first day? Because it's not very clear. It seems like he literally just got to camp and now he's playing Capture the Flag and winning somehow against people who've been here forever. And then there's some random fire monster destroying camp. Percy decides that he's just gonna go off and rescue his mom with no quest or anything from the Oracle, without knowing where he's going. He thinks he's just gonna walk to the underworld. Does he know where it is? And he's not going to get the lightning bolt. Let me be clear. In the book, the whole thing is he's going to the underworld to get the lightning bolt. In the movie, he's going to save his mom with no lightning. Like, I don't know how. He thinks he's just going to say, hey, you made a mistake. Give me my mom. I don't have it. And Hades going to be like, here you go. So he's trying to save his mom in exchange for the lightning bolt because he thinks Hades has it, or he thinks he's going to get it somehow. I don't understand. And then Annabeth is like, yes, I want a quest. But, like, this isn't even a quest. It's just him running away and, like, doing whatever he wants. So I don't know why she's calling it a quest, because it's not. And then another difference is that Luke said he stole the flying shoes from his dad, which kind of hints more that he's going to be evil later. Like, he's already saying, oh, I stole my dad's shoes. And then later he stole this, stole this. But he stole the flying shoes from the dad. In the book, they were a gift. And then there's some random, like, he's telling him to go find the pearls, which is the whole point of the movie, I guess. But in the book, they were just given to him when they were close, from one of the sea people. I forget what they're called. I don't know. And then Chiron's supposed to give him his dad's sword at this point, but I guess he still had the pen sword and it was fine. And then there's no explanation of the mist or what humans see at this time. I'm sorry, this is the longest video already. And then I just realized at that point they also skipped the scene of the Fates cutting the yarn. And then it skipped the whole bus scene with the Furies. I was so excited to see that on screen too. Oh my gosh, I don't understand. They literally cut so many action scenes and then put, like, junk back. Like, I don't understand. And then they put in different action scenes, like where they got the pearl from the statue and then they had to fight the janitor, three-headed dog, and they cut off the heads, or not dog, the three-headed thing, and then more heads grew back. Like, that wasn't even in the book. I didn't type that at all, but whatever. Breathe, Megan. It's gonna be okay. I'm so mad. I'm worked up. And then the whole Medusa scene. I can't. I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm so mad about it. And then they ended up keeping the head, but in the book, he sends it off to the gods out of anger, and then they have a car. How convenient. Oh my gosh, my phone's battery is dying. Okay, so first, he didn't know the water could heal him, right? The dad's like, go to the water, it'll make you better. And then now, magically, he knows he could transfer the healing power to other people, which wasn't a power he had in the books, mind you. But he's like, here, watch this. So then he touches Annabeth and she heals. Oh, how did he know that he could do that? And then he's not supposed to wear the flying shoes because that's in Zeus's territory. But in the book, in the movie, he's flying all around in these dang shoes. And then Annabeth brought a whole laptop with her so she could, like, FaceTime. I don't know what she was doing. I was like, you're running away from camp and you brought a whole laptop with you to the underworld? Skips the scene with Ares in the old water park. Ares isn't in this at all, which is BS because he was kind of a big character. They didn't free those animals, which I really liked in the book because, like, it was nice. I like animals. Leaving the Lotus Hotel was much more difficult in the movie than the book. I guess that was them trying to put some action in it. The weather played a bigger role in the movie. There was no water mattress scene where they were at the store with the crusty dude. Forget his real name, but Krusty, and he tied them up, and then Percy chopped off his head. And then for some reason they went to the Hollywood sign, and that's where the entrance to the underworld was, but it was completely different, like that whole scene. There was no three-headed dog. She had 3 dogs. Persephone was there for some reason, even though it was summer, and she had 3 dogs instead of 1 three-headed dog. And there were no, like, gates to get through and all the wandering souls. No, it was easy peasy getting through there. And then there was no scene with the flying shoes from Luke being cursed and trying to go to the pit of Tartarus to Kronos, which Why would he give them the flying shoes if they're not cursed? Tell me this. Tell me why he's helping. He was really just trying to help? No. He was trying to make Percy die. Anyways, and with the lightning bolt, bring the light. That's how he was going to deliver the lightning bolt. But anyway, and that's how Percy ended up with the lightning bolt from Ares, not from Luke. Okay, movie. So Hades is the bad guy of the movie. I'm still kind of confused about that because he wasn't the bad guy of the book. But Hades is the bad guy of the movie, of course, because he's the god of the underworld. He's got to be bad. But then they figure out Luke's involvement right away, but it happened at the very end of the book. And then they leave Grover in the underworld. So this is how it happens in the movie. The shield pops open. He's like, oh, there's a lightning bolt. And Annabeth's like, Luke put it there. He's evil. Figured it out. So annoying. And then they just left Grover under there. But in the movie, they left the mom. And then the mom, Hades gave the mom back because he was nice. But no, he left Grover and then made Zeus get Grover back. Whatever, stupid. He fights Luke. There's this big ultimate battle with Luke instead of Ares. Stupid. And then how did Sally Jackson even know how to get to Olympus? She knew exactly what flips to switch and stuff to get the elevator. But mortals aren't even allowed there. The elevator went up and she's like, I can't go any further. Then how do you even know? Did Poseidon bring you on the elevator and then say bye? Stupid. And then with all that sword training at camp, that's all you see them doing. It looks like they never used swords on their quest. They used it like twice. I don't even, did they even have problems? I don't know. I just really worked up. I gave up at the end of this movie too. It was not even the same. The big ultimate fight wasn't even at the end of the movie. I just gave up. I literally gave up because I was so mad. I'm like, this isn't even the same. I can't even compare them. Anyways, I heard that Disney Plus might be making the book into a TV show, so I really hope they do. And then I also saw that there's a musical. So my next video, I'm going to compare the book to the musical. So stay tuned. I hope it's better. I hope you hated the movie like I did. Go Lightning Thief. Yay!